Hello, hello, hello. Let me point this down a little bit more. There we go. Hello, my name is Adrian Cockings and welcome back to the coronavirus update video number 40. We are 40 videos into this thing and we're still going strong, luckily enough. Thank you for everyone who is joining in for the first time and thank you for everyone who is a long-time listener and you're coming back every single day to keep up to date with the news. First of all, today's date is the 24th of April 2020. It is a lovely Friday. And we've actually got good weather where we are here in Murcia as well. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all the messages for Paloma yesterday. Yes, it was her birthday, my wife's birthday yesterday. We did celebrate it nicely. We managed to get a takeaway from our local restaurant delivered to us. We had a decent day outside, we had a nice lunch, and yeah, it was perfect. It was a really, really nice day. So I know all of your messages definitely made a big difference being in confinement in these rooms. So she was reading them late last night and she felt really, really happy. So thank you for all the messages of, the birthday messages. And yeah, let's start off with today. So of course we've got a lot of news that we're going to go through today, but it's actually going to be repeating a bit of the news that we've been talking about all of this week as well, and basically updating you on the actual truth behind it and things like this. Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone who is sharing these videos, because I'm still getting a lot of new people messaging me on a daily basis saying that they've only just discovered this page and they wish they would have discovered it sooner. So thank you for sharing it. In fact, if you can share this right now to your page or to a group that you're part of, I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, just like every single video, the first thing I always do is run through the numbers. Now today we're going to be running through the numbers, but we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into this because of course the numbers that came out today, there was a lot of confusion why they were less on the infection rate than the previous days. So we're going to talk about that today. Of course, when it did came out, I was a bit confused. I posted it, but I've actually got a bit of information after noticing the trend and everything. Did a bit of research. Paloma's actually done some research on this as well. So we've come through together to find the information that you guys need, especially. Okay, so as of today, there are 202,990 people infected, and that is 2,796 over the last 24 hours. But of course, yesterday there was a larger number. There was in fact almost 10,000 more. So basically, what this is called the PCR test. And this is what the government are basically going to be doing from now on. What they did talk about at the start of this week was the numbers they're going to be mixed over the next couple of days, because they need to get every single region of Spain put into the same system, and they're going to be marking the same infections for the same in every single region. So what's basically going to be happening now is that everyone should now be on the correct testing procedures, and they're going to be counting the infections using these PCR, which is the polymerase chain reaction tests, as well as these quick tests that we talked about 3 weeks ago. Millions of these quick tests are still going to be put into place, as well as these PCR tests. And yeah, these are the new quick tests that are going to be coming out, and this is the numbers that we're seeing without the antibody tests. So some people have already started doing their research with this. Fantastic. Instead of just saying, oh, this is wrong, they made a mistake. They actually did their research, and a couple of people started posting about this already, which is fantastic that you're doing your own research. But there was actually an article on El País in English. You can go and check out the article here. But it reads, the Health Ministry began to report on the total number of coronavirus cases according to the PCR test results, which are the most reliable detector of the disease. Which they are faster and less expensive to use. If only PCR tests are counted, then the number will be 202,000. The total number of infections in Spain, counting all of the other tests that have been put through, would be 219,764. So there is about a difference of 17,000 more or less, but these are the tests that they are not going to be counting in the actual government official stats. Yes, they have put the statistics out with the tests, and this is actually in the government document, so don't I wouldn't like people to say, oh, they're trying to manipulate the numbers. They're not. They're still putting out these numbers. However, they're only going to be using the PCR test from now on, which I think getting a system put into place and having everyone follow it, I think is a great idea. So this is basically the news that we've got about the infection rates for today. So anyone who is wondering why the infection rates, and I'm still going to get a lot of messages about it, send them this video because that's going to be the best thing that you can do. Okay, as for recovery rate, there is 92,355 people who have recovered from the coronavirus. That is 3,105 over the previous day, which is a great number because it's over the infection rate, of course, counting the PCR tests. And in total, the deaths, this is 22,524 deaths in total, and only 367 deaths in the last 24 hours, which is a great number to see. In fact, this is the best number since the 20th of March. So this is a really, really good number to see, especially with the death rate. This still means that there are still a lot of people in ICU. And there's still going to be a lot of people in the hospitals and in the temporary hospitals as well. But what we can see is these rates are still going down, so we're definitely on that decline. But actually, more people today, this was an announcement that came out today, more people who have recovered today, actually, sorry, the numbers of the open cases are less than the closed cases. So there are 104,000 open cases of the coronavirus and there are 114 closed cases, which is fantastic news. So yeah, there are more people who have recovered than there are currently who are infected in Spain. Great numbers, great statistics. So I'm really, really glad this is all here. Okay, let's move on to the next bit of news. This is the weekend. We're on Friday, the 24th today. It is coming up to the weekend, and of course, a lot of people still think they're above the law, and they are going to be moving to their second homes down on the beach, most likely. But they're going to be going to their second homes. So there will be more control out. So if you are deciding to go down to I don't know, down to the local supermarket or going to a supermarket further away, be careful. There's going to be a lot more controls out there. You need to have a valid piece of evidence to say that you are going to this supermarket because right, let's move on to the next one. Right, the biggest news. In fact, this video is actually going to be quite short today, I believe. But the biggest news, of course, that we've been talking about over the last two days, yeah, I believe 2 days, is actually on the 26th Sunday, this Sunday, the 26th of April, children will be allowed out. And we talked about this yesterday. I still had a few doubts of some information, but we've got this confirmed today with good sources. So the information of children being allowed out from the 26th, it of course will take place from 9 a.m. in the morning. So if you've got something planned already for your kids to do outside, then start planning now. You know, a bit of exercise will be fantastic for them to get out and get a bit fresh air. But the rules state that children who will be allowed out will only be 14 or less years old. Anyone who is 15 or older, they are not going to be allowed this sort of treatment. They are, however, still allowed to go to supermarkets, pharmacies and banks if necessary or if an emergency. They're not recommending that 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds go to the supermarkets, but this should be as an emergency, okay? Basically, the children who are allowed out, they must be accompanied by an adult, and this is only one adult for 3 children maximum. It does not mean 2 adults for 1 child. However, there's of course going to be some loopholes that you'll be able to figure out here, and I know a lot of people will be commenting on this as well. But basically, the children that do go out, let's say you've got 2 children and 2 adults in your household, yeah, you'll be able to have a workaround where one adult can take one child, or another adult can take another child, and you just walk maybe separate directions to get your exercise, a bit of fresh air, and that's it. I'm presuming a lot of people have already thought about this already, but this is what's going to be happening, I think, over the next couple of days. But as long as you're keeping your distance, that's fine. It's no longer than an hour. Now we're not sure whether it's an hour each time or an hour each day. I've read reports of it's an hour in total for the day, but again, how are the police going to know this? So I'm still waiting to get that confirmation through. And you're not allowed very far from your house, but you are allowed up to 1 kilometer away from your house, which is good. So the timetable of this will be from 9 a.m. in the morning until 9 a.m. in the evening. So basically they're putting in a curfew for anyone out. So anyone who is beyond 9 o'clock in the evening, this will be, of course, breaking the rules, and they would probably be taken back home or told to be going back home or something like this. Taking your own toys, bicycles, skates, rollerblades, skateboards, this is all fine. You're allowed to take these out, or the children are allowed out. However, I don't believe, and again, I still wait for this to be confirmed, but from what I've read, adults will not be able to take a bicycle out and cycle along with them. So that's the only downside about this. I'm still waiting for a confirmation on this, so wait until, of course, we get this confirmation, but do not go out on a bike with your child, just in case, okay? You cannot, or the children cannot come in contact with any other children. Now, of course, a lot of people were commenting on the post I put out yesterday, and even the video as well, saying that if an older sibling was to take their younger sibling out, they're going to, of course, go and meet up with their friends. Well, this is now down to the parents to control this. Yeah, there's going to be people, for example, 15-year-olds who will want to go and see their friends, and they'll have the excuse of maybe going and taking their younger sibling to the park or to the streets and meeting up with their friends. This is now down to the parents to control this. Now, if, of course, siblings are going out, you have to try and make sure that they understand there is a limit and there is a law. If they are caught, they will be punished with this. So no interaction with other children or any members of the public. That's basically it. And of course, a lot of people were asking about the 2-meter rule. Yeah, the 2-meter rule is basically for members of the public. It's not necessarily the family members in the household going out together. So for example, if I was going out with a 5-year-old, yeah, I would keep a close distance to them. I don't have to be on top of them the whole time or holding their hand the whole time, but keeping a relative distance to them and making sure they're safe. But as long as they're not 2 meters with other people in the public. Now, of course, we're talking about major cities where they've got lots of kids who will be out in the streets and families, etc. But where we are, we live in a small village, in a resort in a small village, so we're not going to come across anyone, but this is, of course, for the major cities and the major towns. And, of course, the biggest request that everyone has been asking for being allowed out with their children, can they take their dog with them? And from what I've read, no, you will not be allowed to do this, because this will actually break the rule of keeping a close distance with your dog to the perimeter of your house. So no, you will not be able to take your dog for a long 1 kilometer walk. I know a lot of people were asking about this, but from what I've read, this could be, you know, maybe a bit of news come out in the next couple of days. But no, this is not the case. You will not be able to take your dog up to 1 kilometer away from your house. And also, wash your hands frequently. As soon as they go out, when they go out, make sure they wash their hands before they go out, and when they come back in, wash their hands straight away. If you want to take hand sanitizer with you, that's okay to do, that's not a problem. But washing your hands is, of course, the best way to prevent the coronavirus and the spread of the virus. And masks, no, masks are not a mandatory issue. You do not have to wear a mask. It has been recommended that if you have children's masks, you can wear them, but no, you do not have to wear a mask. Let's move on. Okay, the EU. So, of course, the EU, there's been a lot of discussions going on recently about bailout or help benefits, basically, for the different countries affected by the coronavirus. Spain put a proposal together for 1.5 trillion euro bond to basically help them out of the state of emergency. They have been discussing this, and as of yesterday, apparently they've actually started to agree on certain issues. So we could be seeing, I don't know if it's going to be the 1.5 trillion, but we could be seeing hopefully a very, very large sum coming from the EU, and maybe helping out Spain through this tough time. You know, we don't know how it's going to go there, but more to come. As soon as I get the information, I'll let you know about this. Also, Canary Islands. We talked about this, about the different regions of Spain, and of course the Canary Islands, including, and all the islands actually included with this. They are putting their own proposals to President Sanchez, of course, what is going to be happening after the 9th of May. We don't know if there's going to be an extension onto the 9th of May. We don't know if there's going to be a lighter lockdown or a strict... We don't know any of this, but different presidents of different regions of Spain, they are putting proposals together about how they would like to go forward from the 9th of May. And Canary Islands have actually said they would actually like to lift the lockdown on the 27th of April. Now that's actually a lot sooner. So this proposal has been put forward. So if you're seeing news about Canary Islands being out of lockdown on the 27th, it's a proposal. Nothing is being confirmed, and to be honest, I don't think anything like this will actually go ahead because they will still have to wait until the 9th, I'm predicting anyway. So no, nothing like this has actually been put into place. So if you're reading headlines of this, fake news in a way. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to go through, because again, we're getting so many new members in this group. They're still asking the typical questions about supermarkets, dog walking, construction, maintenance, hairdressers. I'm going to quickly go through them just before we finish off this video. So supermarkets. What is the rule of supermarket? By the Guardia Civil and actually by the state, you should be going to your nearest supermarket. Now, the Guardia Civil, of course, enforcing this, and they will be the ones to define if it is a supermarket or a local shop, obviously. But basically, the Guardia Civil have been fining people for going to a supermarket that is not the nearest to them. And these fines can be up to 2,000 euros. We've actually seen the receipts of these fines actually printed, and it's not good, definitely, if you're getting a fine for going to a supermarket, I don't know, 20 kilometers away, when you have one only 5 kilometers away. So you should be going to your nearest one. Now, I will say this, people will say, well, my neighbor did this, my neighbor did that. That's up to them. If they want to do the risk, they will do the risk. That's up to them. But you should know this, and the amount of times, and I will say this again and again and again and again, people will still ask the question until they find the answer they are looking for. I'm only going to give you the same answer every single time. You should be going to your nearest supermarket, okay? Also, supermarket or a place that sells enough or sufficient fruit, vegetable, food, and water. That is what they're classing as a supermarket, okay? So I don't want to hear any questions. Well, I've got a local corner shop. If they sell fruit, vegetables, water, and food in general, then yeah, they are classed as what they would, the Guardia Civil class as a supermarket. Or convenience store, should I say. Okay, dog walking. Again, there's going to be so many people asking, what's this, what's this, what's this? Dog walking. What I have been told myself on the phone via the Guardia Civil, there should be a distance or a close radius to your property. There is no actual number. And again, I wrote this out about 10 times of different people messaging me yesterday. There is no physical number of the meterage that you are allowed to go away from your property. However, it states in the decree, it is a close proximity. So the Guardia Civil, of course, they have to try and control this somehow. Now, what I have been told from the Guardia Civil, it is 50 meters is what they are saying. Of course, different areas are going to be enforcing different rules, but the rule is a close proximity. So you will still have a lot of people complaining, well, I've heard this, I've heard this, I've heard this. That's fine, but I'm telling you what I've heard from the Guardia Civil, it is 50 meters, but that's what they're enforcing to keep kind of a similarity between all of the different areas and cities and everything like this, okay? We've heard other people saying that if you have a garden, you're not even allowed to go out. This will be enforced by the local police or the local Guardia Civil. So it's going to be different rules, yes, but it's the way that they enforce this. Now, what I will say, if you have been fined for walking a dog further than 50 meters away from your property or whatever, and you think it is wrong or you think it's incorrect or you are right in front of your property, you can actually have a rebuttal against this and you can fight this in court because, of course, it needs to state exactly what the problem was on the fine. If they have written a 50 meter or 500 meters or whatever a distance, that is actually not going to be correct because the decree says it is a close proximity. Okay, construction workers, let's move on. Construction workers, as of not this Monday, but the Monday before, they were allowed to go back to work and they have to have certain rules to follow. So the only way the construction sector can work is if they are not coming into contact with the public or they are not taking up communal areas, which includes apartment blocks. So people have been asking whether kitchen fitters and people going into apartments, is this okay? Technically, no. In the decree, it states if you are obstructing any communal areas such as lifts, stairwells, and have to transport materials, it is not allowed. Also, you may not work on a property that has or is occupied by the current tenants or owners of that property. So anyone working on a villa or a townhouse or something like this, and there are people living in that property, they are not allowed to work on that property. So this is the information that is in the decree. If, again, I'm going to get loads of comments saying, is this okay, is this okay? I'm just stating the rules that it is, okay? It's not really my opinion. It's not up to me. I'm stating what it is, okay? Maintenance companies. Yes, there's going to be, of course, on the golf resorts around the Murcia region, there are going to be the maintenance companies that are out and about, and yes, they are allowed to work. They have to keep a clear distance between each other and a clear distance between the areas as well, as I believe they are allowed to do the local maintenance and the basic maintenance around all of the resorts, and this means cutting grass, making sure that everything's clean, as in sanitary and stuff like this, okay? And hairdressers. Hairdressers can only work for emergencies, such as the elderly, disabled, or people who are vulnerable and not able to wash their hair themselves. That is the only way that hairdressers are allowed to do home visits. The salons may not open, okay? So you could not open the salons. And I've even had requests of nail technicians. I'm not sure about this, because nail technicians will not be classed as an emergency. Okay, if someone has broken a nail completely off and it needs tending to, I would definitely suggest going to the hospital and not having a nail technician come in, okay? That's basically what I found out. I'm saying this because I don't want people to get fined. I know people will still message me about this, but I don't want people to get fined, okay? Right, and the last thing, YouTube. I am now completely up to date with the YouTube videos. As soon as this video is finished on Facebook, I'll be uploading it straight to YouTube as well. So you can go to the YouTube page. I've actually posted a link at the top or on the side or wherever you're watching this, on mobile or a tablet or computer. Click on that link, subscribe to the channel, because all the videos are going to be going to that YouTube channel, and then you can easily share it via WhatsApp, email, and it's going to be a lot easier to share out. But the reason I did it is because I got a strike on this page. I don't know the main reason for it, but I guess it's because the actual details of this page is coronavirus, and I don't know if Facebook are trying to lock down on this. Also, we had a great response, people messaging me about Revolut yesterday. Now, some people who may have a bank account out here, or even a bank account in the UK, and they haven't got the contactless card, I use an application called Revolut, and this Revolut, you can actually have different currencies, so the euro, dollars, pound sterling, and you can have this in your account. It's connected to your bank account, but they will send you, if you click the link above, they will actually send you a free contactless card, and then with that card you can actually pay instead of carrying around cash or anything like that, or worried about putting your card in the machine because you haven't got contactless. This is all free. So if you want to do something, if you want a free card and have the contactless feature, then you can click the link above. It will give you a step-by-step guide as to go through to the application and everything. I've used it for about a year now, and a lot of people on here as well have been saying how amazing it is. I use it because of cryptocurrency, but it's really, really good and really handy, especially if you're traveling a lot between the UK and Spain. To have that card, just one card with all the different currencies on it, it's really, really helpful. So yeah, the link as well, I put up at the top or on the side or wherever. The link is up there somewhere. So find that, and yeah, I think it's a really good app, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. And yes, the card is very safe. The application is very, very safe. I've had no problems, and I've never known anyone to have any issues with this. Right guys, that is going to be it for today. But your question of the day, like I always do, we ask this towards the start of these videos, but what is the first thing you are going to do after the lockdown has been lifted? That's going to be your question of the day. I want to see some different questions, different answers here about what you want to do, the first thing you want to do after the lockdown has been lifted. Let's hear some good comments on here and some positive comments as well. Right, I'm going to go tend to Lily. I know you guys have been commenting on this already, so yes, I'm going to go help her and Lily now. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Remember, 8 p.m. every single night. Get onto those balconies, give a round of applause, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.